instruction, golf news, equipment, travel, interviews, course profiles, and more. Your weekly fix of all things golf is about to begin. It's the Flagstick Podcast with your hosts, Jeff Potter and Scott McLeod.
Well, welcome to the Flagstick Podcast. I'm Jeff.
This is
I
Halloween.
thought I'd intro with a little fun. It sounds like the same intro all the time, so I thought I'd try something different. But yes, welcome to the Flagstick Podcast. I'm Jeff Potter. This guy's Scott McLeod. And the Flagstick Podcast is sponsored this week by our great friends at Srixon Golf. At Srixon, performance is just more than just a number. It's a feeling of one that starts at the forge. Introducing ZXI irons with iForge, a groundbreaking achievement in shaping, pressing, and heating that's taken Srixon feel to an entirely new level. ZXI irons from Srixon, how forge should feel. Visit Srixon.ca for more and the full lineup of Srixon products. Well, as we always like to remind you, got to be checking us out across all of our social media networks, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook. Please subscribe on Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. And, of course, the YouTube channel, a hot spot, place you need to be. Like us, click the notification bell. Make sure that you never miss a single episode of this great podcast or anything else we happen to post up there, which continues to be a plethora of great golf instruction by 2025 PGA of Ottawa Coach of the Year, Scott McLeod. There you go. See how I plugged that right in the gut. That's got to be part of the intro now. It's part of the intro. 2025. Now, the Flagstick Academy Instruction Series.
Oh, boy.
With 2025 PGA of Ottawa Coach of the Year, Scott McLeod. Congratulations, my friend, on your selection. How many years were you nominated, though? I think it's 3.
I was finalist 3 years in a row, which was they only started the award 3 years ago. So I've been a finalist every year. So, but no,
wouldn't sound the same if I said finalist, Scott.
No, it doesn't. Although now I'm a finalist for the National Coach of the Year. So, anyways, yes, it was cool. Actually, it was a good last Thursday. I still think the highlight of the night was Marc-Andre Piet. He won Head Pro of the Year, and
how fitting is that as he jumps on his horse and rides off into the sunset. Yeah. You see Marc-Andre wearing a cowboy hat riding a horse into the sunset? I don't either, but
I don't
not really the vision of it.
No, I don't think Katie wants to see that. But after 18 years in the zone, and he got a standing ovation, and rightly so. He's done a lot in the zone, on the board and so forth. And he's headed over to Richelieu Valley. So everybody wished him well there. So it was nice to be among the award winners, but I would say that was a highlight for me. And it's fun just to kind of get together with some peers. So
yeah, it should be a highlight for most people that were there that night to see that happen.
Yeah, exactly. So all good.
Good for him. Bad for us.
Actually,
hey!
I should follow up. Though.
Yeah, the shooters going on there. The shooters. Shoot up.
So. A bigger highlight that night for me.
I wasn't there. That could have been much of a highlight.
No, actually, it would have been nice if you were there. You were thanked, and so yeah. I went to the hockey game afterwards. Right? I told
your lowly Calgary Flames.
Yeah, my lowly Calgary
Flames too. But
they did finally, but they're still wallowing at the bottom. But our good buddy Derek McDonald was going to go with his stepson, and they said, hey, we're going to get tickets, blah blah blah. It was cheap. It was like $13 or something like that or whatever. I'm like, hey, I may as well go. I'm here and I'm in town or whatever. That wasn't the fun part of the night because they ended up losing in overtime. But the funniest part of the night, and a lot of our listeners will appreciate this because they'll know who this person is, but they have the Heroes Ridge, where they have military members that they're honoring for the evening. They have them in a suite, and they were presenting a Senator's jersey to the one military member. And lo and behold, who was there to present the jersey but Hockey Hall of Famer Eric Lindros? And we're sitting there going, what is Eric Lindros doing in Ottawa? Like, we were trying to figure it out. And here was the funny part. 5 minutes later, sitting in the 300s, back row, and I look up to my left because I hear this voice go, hey, can I squeeze by? And I'm staring eye to eye 4 feet away from Eric Lindros. And I'm thinking, what is he doing in the 300s in the back? Turns out he was here for with his son, one of his sons, for a hockey tournament. So he's just being a hockey dad.
So that's why he was there doing the
He-
presentation.
Right. So obviously they found out he was there or whatever, but he wasn't big timing or anything. He was sitting in the 300s in the back, shoved into this little seat in the back or whatever.
Oh my God.
Sitting next to Rory, and who got a picture with him or whatever. Didn't know who he was, of course, or whatever.
Yeah, well.
Once he looked it up, a 13-year-old's not going to figure that out. But once he looked it up, he was freaking out. But it was pretty cool. It was just weird. It was just such a weird, bizarre.
Okay, so here's the only thing I'm going to say. I'm going to ask about this. First of all, there's no way that you were eye to eye with Eric Lindros.
I was sitting. He was leaning
eye
down.
to nipple.
he was leaning down.
Okay.
I was looking
because I know how tall you are, and I know how big Eric Lindros is, and you were not eye to eye with Eric Lindros. That's pretty cool.
It was just a weird circumstance or whatever. But again, he was just a hockey dad with no big time chatting about a bunch of different things or whatever, and here he is stuffed in this little seat in the back row of the 300. So that actually just made for a cool day overall. So anyways,
awesome.
I think we have a show to do.
We do have a show to do. Well, we're kind of doing it.
I guess so.
So, but on this show, we have a few leftover topics from the Spin the Wheel segment that we did last week, which was really kind of cool. So rather than spin the wheel, we thought we'd take some of those segments and just pick some of the questions and answer some and see how that goes. We'll do that in the back nine. But we're going to talk about a little bit about LIV Golf and what all of this new announcement about LIV Golf, what it means, what we care it means, what we don't care it means, what they hope it means,
exactly,
and so on, which probably is the more underlying thing. We're also going to delve a little bit into into golf social media and the impact that it has or may not have on the golf industry. There's been some things that have kind of popped up more recently than It's not new information, but it's a little more recent than it has been. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Sure. But let's get to it. Let's get to the front nine presented by Metcalf Golf Club. A natural setting, a pleasant challenge. Well, what a great season it was. It may be over, but now is a great time to start thinking about next season and great golf gifts. Their Black Friday sale is going to be here before you know it. Exciting Christmas specials are right around the corner, and the online store always features personalized golf balls, game packages, and gift cards for anybody on your gift list. Visit metcalfgolf.com and stay in touch with golf savings.
And every golfer appreciates a golf gift.
So they do. It doesn't even matter if it's a bad one.
No, exactly. As long as it's
that's the funny thing with golfers. Here's the funny thing with golfers. We're absolutely like diehard golfers. We're nuts about golf stuff. So it's like you can't really go wrong with a golf gift for somebody because no matter what it is, they like it in some fashion or another. They could be like I've seen these golf gifts where you can practice your putting while you're sitting on the toilet. You think that's stupid.
Somebody will buy it.
The funny thing is most people think that's a gag gift.
No.
To a diehard golfer, you just handed them something more special than their marriage. like that seems like I can't even fathom myself using something like that or doing something like that, but you would be surprised.
I'm anticipating the follows on our platforms by girlfriends and wives that I get every year that we see because people are reaching out about questions going, hey, my husband, boyfriend, spouse, whatever, girlfriend, you name it. Can you give me a recommendation of what they would like for Christmas? Like it happens every year, so which is fine. It's an honor that people do.
We aim to please when it comes to this kind of stuff. So. We certainly aim to please. Now, listen, hey, I slipped in the last round of the year on Tuesday.
Okay.
Brandon wanted to he wanted to play Metcalf before things close
out the year.
Play Metcalf. So he got off work at Camelot, rushed home, grabbed a Larabar, off to the golf course. We went at 4, teed off at 4 o'clock, finished.
What?
Yeah, teed off at 4 o'clock, finished at 5:30.
In the dark.
It wasn't dark. It was
Had to be close.
we lucked out because it was a full moon, and it was a super moon, which means it was like having daylight for an extra maybe an hour. It was fairly bright. I mean, it was nighttime.
Sure.
You know, we have these little Brandon has these little spotlights that his brother Nolan got him for Christmas one year that clip onto his cart. They're like these 2 LED spotlights, so we light up the tee deck so I can see, because I can't see. If I can't see, I'm just going to top it. So yeah, because he's notorious for, and Rob Howell at Metcalf will know this because the marshals hate it. Is Brandon is notorious for teeing off at 7 o'clock in the summer,
right,
and playing the 9-hole course and coming down the 9th hole in practically the pitch black. So Nolan got him these LED. My son Nolan got these LED lights to clip on his cart so they could light up, and they light up a good chunk of the first.
That's awesome.
You know. So anyway, so got in 7 holes. I would say we did not get 9 and got 7.
Yeah.
Missed playing 7 and 8 just because that loop takes you a while.
Yeah.
Awesome, and played freaking well.
Well, there you go.
Like,
you know what?
I'm like, I played well.
Is that a blessing and a curse? Because it's like, oh yeah, now I'm ready to go. Whoops.
Oh, as soon as I got home, I stuffed them in the corner. It's like, that done. I'm done. Carts away, clubs away. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you that I did get my last 9 in, and I'm done. I did not. I cannot do it anymore. My body cannot play in this weather.
I had some offers, but no thanks. I'm gonna stick to indoor golf and watching golf on TV at this point. So.
Well, hey, for those of us that have a TrackMan sim in our garage,
who's that?
Yeah, you know, if I had that opportunity, I wouldn't be too worried about squeezing in one more round of golf either.
Our daughter is home for reading week, so she immediately went to the
yes, I saw your
other night
video there. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about LIV Golf. Okay, so the announcement that came down was that LIV is moving to a 72-hole format. Yeah. Moved to 4 days of competition. Now, the quote is, "This move to 4 days of competition reflects LIV Golf's global momentum and evolution to deliver more action and entertainment for fans." And I saw your show notes here. You saw what I put. Oh, and I was right there with you. At the end of the show notes, I put translation BS. Yeah. Now, I could be completely wrong. I don't think I am.
It's your opinion, but I would say your opinion is shared by a lot of people.
This is the first jump for LIV towards getting world ranking points.
Well, maybe.
That doesn't mean, just because they go to 72 holes does not mean that they also still have a limited field event. Mm-hmm. So that still works against them for ranking points. So they would still have to open the field up for
there's a lot of things.
So that's the start. Now, here's the thing. Was LIV's whole thing not the whole premise not about relaxing the norm of the PGA Tour, shorter events, shorts, all that kind of? It was all about bucking the norm and doing different. And the players are like, "Oh, I would much rather go and get paid this much money and spend less time on the golf course and more time with my family." So now you're basically just going to do exactly the same thing the PGA Tour is doing every week, except you get to wear shorts and play loud music and act stupid.
So two things. One, I went back and looked at a bunch of quotes from the players when they were talking about the 54-hole format, and obviously that was exactly what a lot of them were talking about. Oh yeah, it's more of a sprint, it's more exciting because, and it was the same stuff. Now, of course, they're going to have to change those terms. And word has come that there was a player survey last year, and Tyrrell Hatton spoke about it in the media, and they asked them if they would prefer to go to 72 holes, and most of the players were like not really into it. So this obviously seems like somebody outside the players is saying, okay, we need to do this, which is obviously where we're getting to here. Is that is this a move where they're just trying to step towards the world ranking points and they're kind of losing their their mojo? Is this just a concession? I mean, here's the thing. It's such a huge concession because, LIV is LIV. It's 54. I mean, it's in the name and everybody has pointed that out. It's been nonstop online. It's like, okay, well, now you're 72. So now what's your differentiator? Now they're still trying to say, well, we're still going to have differentiators. We'll still have teams and all this stuff or whatever. To me, it just looks like a concession.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the other side of it too is, as you mentioned, the strength, the fields are still fairly weak. So, and Rory made mention this in his press conference this week in Abu Dhabi, and basically just said, well, I don't know if it's going to make a difference to him. Not that he really cares or whatever, but on the other side of it, it's like, okay, if these are players that are trying to get world ranking points are also dependent on strength of field. And this should be a reminder as well to people that talk about the WAGR, which is on the amateur side of it, and parents that are putting juniors in WAGR events because they're trying to get world ranking points. Well, if the field is so weak that it's not worth anything, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So no different than this. This is, you can get some points, if it happens to be, if this is part of the process or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, you railed so hard of, we're going to be different and we're going to do this and 54 is the best and whatever. And then next thing you know, it's an about face. So it's like, where's your credibility? I mean, not that they had a lot of credibility among many people, but this looks worse on them. And reading the quotes from their new CEO and talking about, and now he's trying to go the other way and shape it as 72 holes. Oh, it's more of this and more energy and it's more for our fans so they can have another round of golf to watch. It's like, okay, well, what happened to all the other things that you said? So obviously from a credibility standpoint, it just means they even have less. And for me, I mean, they didn't have a lot anyway. So this means they just even have.
Well, the one thing that I read, and this will be my last point on it, is
Sure.
the one thing that I read, a couple of the quotes talking about wanting to have the strongest fields possible for all of their events and stuff. It's like, and I think they go, you don't have the strongest fields.
No.
Period. You have good golfers. Like Phil Mickelson is a fantastic golfer. Let's not. But week to week, if he was playing the PGA Tour right now, week after week after week on the PGA Tour, the way it is right now, Phil Mickelson would not be doing well.
No.
I mean, some really, really good players have played in major championships from LIV and sucked.
Sure.
Bryson's the only one, and Terrell Hatton. And John Rahm. Those are the three.
Joaquin Neiman, I would say.
Yeah, okay. So those are the ones
but that's still very
you're
small.
talking about 4 or 5 players or half a dozen players. You're not talking about 40 guys coming to a major championship and finishing in the top, 20 or whatever. Like this is ridiculous. LIV is, I mean, I've always sort of felt anybody that wants to go, you want to go to LIV, chase the money, do your thing, whatever. I have absolutely no ill regard towards you. I don't hate you. I don't think you're an idiot. I think that you're doing what you need to do for you. That's fine. Perfectly okay with that. But to think that your players, your tour has the same quality of players as the PGA Tour, you're lucky if the outside your top 10, the rest of the field could compete on the Korn Ferry Tour.
Yeah.
So
I think the issue too for them is that going forward, it's basically kind of been known that there's not a lot of the big signing bonuses are not going to happen, so that's not going to be what's going to have to attract players over. The only thing that they may have for a advantage, let's say, is as the PGA Tour shrinks and how many cards they put out there, it may become a viable option for some players that they want to go chase that. But again, they have a qualifying school. They're going to have a qualifying school for LIV, but the qualifying is very few spots. So it doesn't become something to chase. So anyways, whatever. I think it's more, for me, it's integrity more than anything. I get it. You have to adapt and change. And, maybe this is them realizing that their format is not as compelling as they think, and that they have to make the change. But I'll tell you what, there's no cut. So, it's not making me, and I'd like to hear from, the listeners, readers, community or whatever.
Yeah.
Is an extra 18 holes making a difference for you, watching this? I mean,
no,
it might be for some, but certainly not for me. So
no, no. Okay, that's enough.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
We had our talk. We got our opinions out. That's great. Okay, so let's talk about. I'm just trying to watch our time here at the same
Yeah,
time, as
sure.
long as it gives us a little
We
kick
can always
over.
drag this into the back nine too. So
Do you want to just do that now before we? I'm not sure. Then why don't we just push this into the back nine? We'll take our
sure.
break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about the social media and golf influencers, and then we'll get into the questions, the leftover
Yeah.
questions from the spin the wheel from the last week.
Sounds
So that's awesome. Okay, so let's do that. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, more golf talk and more of these two guys. All right. Stay with us. You're listening and watching the Flagstick podcast with Jeff Botter and Scott McLeod.
How do you forge pure? With more pressure, more precision, more focus, more control. ZXI irons. Pure forged. Pure Srixon.
All right. Well, we are back on the Flagstick podcast. Jeff Botter, Scott McLeod with you. I just finished a little in-depth conversation, very enlightening conversation about LIV Golf.
like
Gives a crap.
sure.
Honestly, the only thing, yeah, it's the only thing that I. Never mind. I'm not even gonna get into it now. I'm still giving TGL the benefit of the doubt until I see it this year. But there's only 2 leagues that kind of drive me nuts.
You don't want to be full grumpy old man at 55,
No, because
right?
I would. That's it. I try to be grumpy old man with a humorous angle to it to kind of curb the grumpy old man. I don't want to be the 2 Muppet guys up in the friggin' bleachers going.
No. Fair criticism is perfectly fine.
Yeah,
so,
well, that's what we do.
Oh, by the way,
yes. Oh, by the way, BTW.
Belated happy birthday. I don't know why. Did I even say this on the other?
No, you were rude and ignorant. That's okay. I appreciate it. No, it's okay. No, don't worry about it.
Happy 90th birthday, Jeff Botter.
Thank you very much. You know what? There does come a point in a man's life where he doesn't even really want you can't get. I'm on Facebook. You can't get away from it anyway. So you embrace the people that I see the happy birthdays on Facebook, and I know the ones that are sincere about it, even if they're using the pre-made happy birthdays. I know they're still sincere about saying it. It's like just the acknowledgement from friends and family is great.
Yeah, it's great.
Then you get these random ones that are like,
who are you?
Do I even know you? Or thanks for the happy birthday, buddy, old pal from nowhere. But anyway, okay. Thank you. That's fine. It's all good. It's all good. To me, I'm 55 forever. I don't get any older than this. This is as old as I get.
Didn't you say that when you were 50?
I did.
Okay. All right. Next.
Okay. All right. So, in case anybody's been hiding under a rock, social media is kind of a big deal in the golf world right now.
Sure.
And has been for quite a while. We're happy to inform you that when Twitter was just Twitter, we were on Twitter before everybody else was on Twitter.
18 years ago.
So I would say that we are one of the original pioneers of social media networking.
Sure.
It's golf influencers. We do not consider ourselves, at least I don't. We don't consider ourselves necessarily in the same.
I think it's a bad term.
Same pile as the influencers are out there now. Yep. We're golf informers, golf promoters.
I like that.
But we're not influencers. We may influence people's decision in some way, and people might say, well, then you're influencers. No, because I look at influencers myself, and I see some people that genuinely are really passionate and into the whole golf scene and using it for the right reasons and things like that. And then the other side of it is I see people that are just trying to make a name for themselves, cash in on
celebrity.
Some bucks. Reminds me a lot, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you see this as well. When I started Flagstick, there were other magazines out there, and then there were people that started when WordPress became a big deal and people started having golf blogs. So there was us, there was Flagstick, and there was other golf media like Score and Pacific Golf and some other golf magazines that were, internet, like websites and blogs and stuff. And then there were the bloggers. And to me, the influencers are now the new bloggers. They're just doing it to build a following, get free crap, get their name out there, take advantage of, you know, the way things are, how you get paid now, make money and do it. And they're not really truly trying to do anything specific for the game. Well, I think there's some that are, but it's this is the way it used to be for us too. Cause you'd look at some guy that had a golf blog and you're like, do you, like, you're just, and you knew they were reaching out to the industry saying, hey, I have a golf blog. I could review some clubs if you send me some free ones.
Yeah. And this is the hard part. It's like, there's a low entry barrier. Like, it's much different than, you know, and again, this is not to say, this is just drawing on our experience. If you look back of going and obviously publishing a print magazine and stuff like that, I mean, it's a high entry barrier, right? To be involved with that. There's high costs, there's high skills to have.
So few do it.
Correct, exactly. Now, and we should say here, you know, social media is, when we say social media, that's a big thing. It's really a platform. There's not, but I think a lot of people tie certain things to it. It's a conduit to what things happen, and obviously we make use of social media and so forth. So this is not a condemnation of social media. It's how it gets used. So the issue with a low entry barrier, and again, we'll talk about it related to golf because that's obviously, you know, what this podcast is about. It creates that access, but what it means is that the content can be good and new voices can come to the game, but it also means that the content can be very questionable, as can the people, because we have to remember from a digital side of it, it's very much manipulated by some people. Is a digital audience real? How do they build that audience? And this is a very nuanced conversation because, you know, and I know we're going to just kind of tackle it from a top level or whatever. What I want to know kind of quickly from you, though, is like, you pop this in here. Was there a specific...
And I literally did pop it in there, didn't I?
I know, but was there a specific event or something? Has this happened to the... I know a couple of big things like the Internet Invitational and stuff like that were happening this week. But was there a specific thing that sort of, you know, prompted this?
Yes.
Just so that we can keep it pointed, I guess.
I had gotten wind through social media, through some of the different platforms that I'm following related to golf. And there's a lot of different... There is a female... called golf influencer that probably has I don't know this for a fact, but probably has other non-golf related platforms that they're involved in.
Spicy ones,
yeah.
Sure. Okay.
That was given an exemption to play in a European Ladies Tour event.
Okay. And
this person was given that exemption for obvious reasons to try to bolster the eyeballs
attention
on the event and the attention to the event.
Sure.
And proceeded to shoot 25 under for 2 rounds and missed the cut. And
25 under or
25 over, sorry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And it kind of prompted, and I saw some comments. And you look at the comments, I'm so used to this, like, when something gets posted, you always get the negatives. Of
course, always.
And
doesn't matter what you
post
do.
A whole bunch of crap for no reason. They don't even, not even substantiate it. But there were some comments.
I get to answer those all the time.
There were some comments that were made regarding this person, you know, as to why are you giving an exemption to someone who is this bad at golf, and so on and so forth. Well, first of all, she's not that bad at golf, but she's not that level of golfer.
Right.
She is probably a high 70s, mid 80s shooter on a good day. Sure. A decent golfer. I'm sure she's a wonderful person and all that. But this kind of people had questions, you know, why are you wasting valuable exemption space, giving it to, and people were piling on. It's like, you know, this is great for golf. This is where the direction golf needs to go. You want more eyeballs on golf. You have to take advantage of these social media golf influencers to drive the eyeballs up. And that kind of made me a little bit angry. So I popped it in here because my feeling on this is, if you want to do your internet invitationals and your special live streamed golf events for influencers as a way of drawing, and if you want to do them in and around, like they did one at East Lake with the Tour Champions, you want to do it in and around a tour event. I got no problem with that. Separate event, you put it out there, you stream it.
It is what it is.
It draws eyeballs to the event temporarily, but it's only the influencers that are participating in it. Now, I truly don't believe that a lot of these influencers deserve to have eyeballs on them. Some of them are not that good at golf. and some of them are good at golf, but that's fine. Don't mix it in with the tours.
Yeah.
The exemptions are for players who deserve to have exemptions to help them, get points, make money. They're local, maybe they're from the area. They're sponsored by somebody who's involved in the event. Like, that's what a sponsor's exemption is supposed to be for.
Yeah.
Now, we did this with the we did this here locally with the Commissioners Ottawa Open, where we had a golf.
Mac was there.
Mac was there. Great guy and a good golfer. And
love Mac. Former member of the tour.
Yeah, so this is a guy that has the background to be able to play. So this is where the gray area is for me. It's like, okay, yes or no, weighing, getting people out to the event to watch this guy that is a good golfer who's doing TV commercials, but that has, versus the other direction, which is just, exploiting something that is like, this isn't even, this isn't worthy of my time to go watch this person play golf.
And I think this becomes the risk for, in this case, we're talking about a tournament operator, but it also becomes a risk for brands and stuff as well. And I've had these conversations with marketing people within particular brands, and they are now getting to a point where they have to be a little bit more particular and separating the fact of, yes, we can get eyeballs, but what is the cost to that, to their brand? Because the thing is that if it doesn't align with their brand and there's other factors that are there, then it doesn't really help their brand. It gets eyeballs.
But how many more eyeballs does it get? Like, I don't.
But again, the thing, if somebody has an audience, that's perfectly fine. You know what? An audience is an audience. But again, how long standing is that, and how much connection are people going to have with that to actually make an influence on them? And again, we talk about things of that term as far as influencer, and that was one of the quotes that I put in there. Influencers are experts, thought leaders, celebrities, loyal customers. It's meant to sway opinion and so forth, or meant to use them to do a particular thing. But again, it's like anything else. If you have a celebrity endorser that you bring in for a brand, you're like, hey, I'm going to align with this person. Well, what happens if, you dig into that person and, they don't align really with what your brand is all about? So you might have gotten the eyeballs, but what risk did you take from a negative standpoint? So again, that becomes, it's harder and harder to kind of filter out the people that are in that space.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what are they actually about? What are their actual motives? Are they, because I've seen this with brand partnerships and stuff like this, and I've seen a ton of these where it's like, in a golf equipment one, where all of a sudden it's like, oh, this club is the best, or whatever. Like, and I mean, we're smart enough that we can see through certain things, or whatever.
I like to think so, anyway.
And then what happens is that they tell them, and then the 12 or 13-year-old kid who doesn't really know go, oh, it's the best brand, or whatever like this, and then 2 posts later, this brand is the best, and this brand is it. Well, now their credibility is out the window. Yes, they got the money, but they don't have any credibility. And the people that did the brand partnership, the previous one, there's probably not going to be a third one coming because it's like it's not very authentic this way. So for those events and having those influencers, as much as it might drag a few people out there and potentially expose them to whatever brand or tournament or whatever, it's like, okay, well then now your job is to still connect with those people. And Eagle Creek was a good example because Mac is very authentic. He did that out of the goodness of his heart, believe it or not. He didn't charge. He basically, well,
yeah, there's the other thing, right?
He wants that event to be better, but he's very, very authentic. And unfortunately, he takes a lot of crap online from people that he shouldn't have to. And but he's true to his brand. It's when you see people that are not true to their brand that all of a sudden just change for the dollars. Well, they don't have any credibility in my eyes. So
so for me, I watch Four Brothers, which is they're from the UK. I love these guys. They're funny. Their stick
pure
is
entertainment,
just entertaining and stupid.
Yeah.
They got a sponsorship deal right now. I think they got in the last year or so from Callaway. So they're everything's Callaway on their stuff now, which is totally fine. That's great.
Yep.
That's awesome. Do your thing. If you give any of these guys an exemption into any kind of a tour event, they all suck.
Yeah.
They're just
I saw their one
average
recent video
with
Peter Finch. Yeah.
Right. So all good, little special events, watch their stuff, think they're funny. If they're playing in a European tour event a challenge tour event or anything like that, I'm not tuning in. No. I don't care, and they shouldn't be playing in it because they're not good enough to be there. I feel like if you're going to give some golf social media influencer or whatever you want to call them, an exemption into an event in an effort to generate more eyeballs because of their following, that they at least have to be able to compete.
Yeah, I think
in some fashion or another. You can't just go in it, shoot a couple of rounds of 90 and go home and say, I did my job.
And that's a massive
that way.
And that's a massive risk for those people anyways. I mean, they'd be more suited just to go, hey, let's just do a meet and greet and we'll show up that week and we'll do that aspect of it. That's the limit of their authority, is to come and do that. Yeah. It's like, it's not to jump into that other sphere. And, we can get into a million things. We don't need to, but we can talk about it in a further episode and stuff like this. I was having a discussion, and I was listening to a podcast this week talking about some of the people that are, I'm a golfer and I'm a social media person, and I've got an audience, like some of these people would say. And so I'll just start doing this and well, you don't have any expertise or qualifications in that particular field. Yeah. So just because you have an audience doesn't mean you're an expert. You know what I mean? So the problem is for some of those things, it's like, okay, now it's like, okay, where I don't understand it though, is that then, if a brand can't disseminate and tell that person is not an expert, they need to, and there's going to be more critical eyeballs by consumers as we go. They're going to start to be more critical of who does what relative to somebody. And if all of a sudden somebody is putting out bad information, so say it's golf instruction and it's really, really terrible, but because they're a celebrity, they figure they can just tell everyone, how to swing a golf club. Well, the risk is that if a brand is affiliated with that person, and just because they have the eyeballs, but all of a sudden there's some backlash because people go, hey, you know what? You really don't know what you're talking about. You just happen to have an audience. Some people are gullible and they'll listen to you. That's a risk. So manufacturers, companies, brands, they are going to have to be a lot more disciplined about who they choose to go with, because long term, which is important because obviously this is the credibility of their brand, this can have a negative impact on their brand. So yeah,
totally agree. All right. Okay. Said the piece. Got the words out.
Lots more we can dig into that one.
Leave it at that.
Another show. So
yeah, exactly. All right. Well, let's since that was a carryover on the front nine, we'll just leave that in the front nine. Let's get the back nine going here. Presented this week by Falcon Ridge Golf Club. 27 holes of challenging golf at Great Race. Falcon Ridge Golf Club is a golfing experience that you should not miss. They have built the first TrackMan range facility in Eastern Ontario. TrackMan range is all about exciting, easy-to-use features that provide the ultimate range experience for every golfer at every level. That's practice games and virtual golf. However, you can't book those right now, but you can book indoor golf at Falcon Ridge, which is now wide open and ready to go. Yep. All of the TrackMan bays indoors are ready to go and waiting for your tee time. So head over to falconridgegolf.ca and get your indoor golf season started.
You got it.
Okay, so continuation from last week where we spun the wheel. I know this sort of like a confusing after the break situation here, but you know what? At the end of the day, who cares? We're still talking golf. Doesn't matter what we stick in the middle. We're going to use the back nine to kind of take some of those topics and extend our spin the wheel, except we're not spinning the wheel. We're just going to randomly go right off this list that we have left over and have some chats.
You got
so let's get to it, Scotty Mac.
Do you want me just to grab one?
Just grab and go. All grab and go.
Let's go. So these are from questions that we had. So
my coffee's cold though.
Oh, sorry about that. Mine's getting there.
Is that on your list?
Yeah, the pressure of the 18th tee. What is the hardest shot to execute in golf when under pressure, and why? Besides a chip with playing with a partner and not wanting to shank
Stop.
it.
Why would you bring that up? Why
After
would you
20
do
years.
that? Nothing like being thrown under the bus by your
Yeah.
good friend and radio or podcast partner and so on.
Hey, I'm just asking.
After I gave you that good shout at the beginning of the show too.
I'm just suggesting, I can help you with that. But anyways, what do you think the hardest shot is?
I personally, the approach shot for me.
Okay. In what is there?
I don't find tee shots all that.
Is there a particular situation or anything?
Yes.
Or
something that requires me to hit a shot over water.
Oh,
I just,
really?
yeah. I mean, if there's a reason for me to blow up in front of me, I'll probably find a way to do it. Like I'm not a so lots of people they off the tee, like first tee pressure, 18th tee, like off the tee is like, oh, I just want to get the ball and play. Yeah. My game, I don't worry about that. I generally can get the ball and play, even if I don't hit it well. I can usually get it in play. Where I struggle more is once I get into play and I got to hit a certain shot.
Yeah.
Like I remember. So I'll bring this up. I remember Brandon was playing at Play Junior Golf, or not Play. It was the OVJ Cup.
Okay.
Junior Cup, and he had driven his ball through the fairway on 18 on the peninsula, the downslope.
Eagle Creek.
Yes, Eagle Creek.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He had the downslope in the rough.
Sure.
And me, if I have that shot, no matter how good the lie may or may not be, I'm probably taking like a short iron and hitting it out,
laying out
to the right, and then going in from there. And Brandon, I don't know what he hit. I think he hit a 6 or 7 iron, but on this downslope, went for the green from there and went over, and like over the back of the green. So for me, that's the pressure shot that I can't execute that shot. I just. I would, if I got it over, it would be because I absolutely, hacked it and got lucky and it bounced. Like that's not. I don't have the nerves to hit over water to a green on any situation.
It's a
but
challenging
a lot of the 18th,
shot.
so yeah.
I think mine's changed over the years. I think when I was younger, it used to be. Now I've never cared about a tee shot, a first tee shot, as far as a casual round is concerned. There's really no consequences or anything to it. But at first it used to be that first tee at a tournament round. Where you sort of have this expectation that is like, oh, I have to hit a good shot here. That gives me the feel for what's going to happen during the day. I got over that because once I still feel a little bit of nerves when doing that, but once I started, having a proper warm-up routine and getting the right feel for things that I had to do, it was perfectly fine. I think the one I struggle with now, because maybe I don't play as much golf, I think the hardest one for me now is kind of putting the horse back in the barn at the end. I had a round this year where I was playing extremely well, kind of in the middle of it, struggled a little bit at the start, and it doesn't bother me now to, you get 1 or 2 over after a couple of holes. I know I'll make a lot of birdies. And in this circumstance for that day, I made a ton of birdies, but it was like in the middle stretch where it was like, 10 holes and had like 7 birdies in the middle or whatever. But that meant I also had like a few more. Well, I had one last hole to play, and then the expectation starts to get there where it's like, okay, now as opposed to just cruising along.
Yeah.
Now it's like, all right, now, hey, maybe I can make one more and I can, and then you get ahead of yourself, put yourself in the wrong situation. So I think it's that one now. It's where it's like, I don't have as many low rounds as I maybe used to. So when I start to get into a round that I know is going to be in the 60s or whatever, then, it's harder during the year to kind of finish that off. But I've also had to create a little bit of a different strategy of how to play that. And it feels like a little bit more conservative sometimes, but whatever the case, but that'll be the one for me. So
yeah. The first tee, I mean, your palms are sweaty, your knees are weak already. There's vomit on your sweater. It's mom's spaghetti. You're nervous, but you look calm and ready to drop bombs, but you keep on forgetting what you wrote down. The whole
Okay.
crowd goes so loud. You open your mouth, but the words don't come out. You're choking now.
Okay, we get it. Perfect. That'll be a great clip.
Then you step back to reality.
Yeah, exactly. So, so that's it for me.
Okay.
So,
all right. What's next? What's next?
Course management for amateurs. What? Oh my God! And this
course
is
management.
And you're the perfect guy to comment on this. What's the single biggest strategic mistake the average golfer makes on the course? Jeff, go.
Well, not having any course management would be the single mistake you make. I would say, oh my gosh, I don't know. I mean, I would say, what I've seen over the years that I've been playing is not valuing being in play off the tee more than hitting your driver and getting it down and trying to hit it as far as you can. I guess that would be a thing. Valuing hitting it far more than valuing being in play. I think so many strokes are lost with amateurs hitting it in the water, in the trees, in the rough, in bunkers. And if they focused more, first of all, if they played from the tees that they're supposed to play from, and secondly, if they valued more putting the ball in the fairway. I've seen it firsthand what happens when a golfer spends their whole day in the fairway, their strokes, they drop significantly. As soon as they're hitting it in the rough and in fairway bunkers and in the woods and in the water, all of a sudden because the majority of your average amateur does not make a ton of birdies in a round of golf.
No, they don't.
They're maybe good for one or two, but
they make a lot of mistakes.
They make a lot of mistakes, and so if you're not making a ton of birdies, as you just talked about at the beginning, like where you make like 4 or 5 birdies in a round, you can't afford to make a double bogey and a couple of bogeys and still have a decent round. So if you're just making a lot of pars on a good day and one, a birdie here and there, those big numbers are gonna throw your score through the roof. So I would think that's probably the biggest one that I see, is not valuing being in play more than trying to hit a big drive. Now, it's not
single is difficult to pin it down to one, but I mean, I think you're right as far as in play, but I also think recovery is important. I think a lot of cases when they do get themselves out of trouble, they are very busy about getting themselves into more trouble.
And if there's a gap.
Yeah. Like how many times that, if I all of a sudden hit a ball and it's not in a good position, it took a long time before I had the discipline to just kind of pitch it back into a fairway and realize that was fine and not try to take on too much risk. And, that goes to other situations as well. I mean, if I go out for a playing lesson with someone and I steer them around the golf course and, often they're shocked if all of a sudden it's like a back left pin tucked behind a bunker. And it's like, well, you don't really have the skills. Maybe they're far away from the green. In a lot of cases, it's like, okay, let's just hit it up to the front of the green and then pitch it on and maybe make your bogey and let's get out of here. And, for a lot of them, that's a much safer way and a much easier way to play than it is to take on that risk, plug it in the bunker, leave it in the bunker, scull it over the back. And next thing you know, they make these big numbers. So I think it's taking the ego out of play. And I think that lends into what you're talking about as far as off the tee. It's like sometimes they're shocked. You might be a par 5 and they're shocked when they look over and you're hitting a 4-iron off the tee. And they're like wondering why. And it's like, well, I trust my wedge. I can hit a 4-iron and then I hit a 7-iron and hit a wedge on and I can still make a birdie. Yes, it may take eagle out of play, but it also takes bogey and double bogey out of play.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
It has to be, and it's situational, I guess, is the other thing that you have to take. It's kind of a bit of a loaded question in that it's situational. If I'm playing casual golf with friends or I'm playing in a tournament, If I care
yeah.
about my handicap index or I don't care.
Care
Like, so
about
for
your
me right
score.
now,
Yeah.
I could care less about my index.
Sure.
I could care less if I shoot 85 or 75.
Yeah.
If I have a good day and I shoot a good score and post a good number, then great. If I have a crappy day and I'm in the trees all day, then I'm fine with that too. I don't care. I really, really don't care.
Yeah.
So course
I agree.
management for me is out the window. I do not punch out when I'm playing just casual golf unless I absolutely have no other shot. I do whatever. And so that's the circumstances. If you're in a tournament, if I'm playing in a tournament, different ball game now. I'm playing to score. I'm not playing to just be a miracle man.
One, you're trying to get satisfaction about, pulling off a shot, right? So that's where you're getting your feedback, and that's fine. That's what you're getting out of it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if somebody tells me that they want to score, which would go to your tournament side, then then the whole philosophy has got to be a little bit different or whatever. Definitely. But it's shocking actually the amount of times I go out for a playing lesson and players take on shots that PGA Tour players wouldn't take on. They somehow think as a 12 index that they're miraculously going to hit this shot that no tour player is going to hit. So
absolutely. All right, let's pick another. Let's see if we can't maybe squeeze two more in here, depending on how much we babble.
Let's go. How about well, this goes to the strategy. Well, no, we'll go away from it from a strategy standpoint. Let's go to the impact of side games. Does playing for small stakes, skins, presses, etc., improve or hinder your ability to focus on your main score?
I guess it depends on the individual and how much pressure they feel when they do. I don't like.
For you. So let's say it's for you.
It changes.
Let's not answer for anyone else.
Yeah. I would say that's a good. Actually, you know what? It is a good question because I don't think for me when I play, like if you and I went out and played and we were playing for 5, 5, and 5, just the simple side game, 5, 5, and 5. I'm probably not too concerned about losing $15, so I really don't think it would change the way I play. If we were playing for 500, 500, and 500, now we're getting into money that's not pocket change or fun money. We're getting into real money, and then that changes things because then you might as well call it a tournament. You might as well be playing playing for real money in a tournament. So if it's just a few bucks, you're playing quarters.
So if that's the case, though, if that's 500 or whatever. Does that keep you more focused, or does that put too much pressure on?
Well, it puts too much pressure on me, but it also keeps me more focused because I don't want to lose $500. So it makes me lock in a little bit more and think my shots through a little bit more as to where I don't want to be. For instance, for me, I'm terrible at bunkers. So if I'm playing just casual golf, no pressure, no money, no anything, I'm not too worried about going for a back left pin that's going to end up in a bunker.
You don't care
if I hit in the bunker and I skull it out into the water and make a triple, I don't care. If there's $500 on the line for that 9, now I'm hitting it way out to the right away from the bunker and then pitching it back and trying to make a bogey and hopes that the guy that I'm playing with doesn't make a par. That's kind of like the different philosophy is I'm going to get what I can get, try to save my par, and if not, I'm not going to make a double. And then again, it depends too on what you're playing. Are you playing match play or are you playing stroke play? If I'm playing match play, well, that changes things too because now it's just one hole. So I'm willing to risk losing one hole to hit a shot as opposed to, if it's stroke play, well, now I'm worried about accumulating numbers. So it changes. Everything changes. Like for me anyway.
I think for me, as far as the stakes, it's like, I think it's much like having a scorecard. Like during the year, short of tournaments.
What's a scorecard?
There's very few times that I actively have a scorecard. Now, every now and then, I will, just to hold myself accountable, maybe I've been working on something or working on a number of things, I will say, all right, I'll walk into the pro shop and you can ask Dale at Garrison how few times I do this during a year. I'll go in and I'll get a scorecard and I'll put it in my scorecard holder and, I'll be keeping stats and I like to do it. I like to do it for the process, sort of a check-in every now and then. I find it keeps me a little bit more focused in the way that, okay, I know I want to shoot a good score, but I also have to trick my brain into thinking it doesn't matter as much, just so that I can go ahead and play my game and not worry about the score, just to worry about hitting the shot. So so I think it helps me in a way, but it's not always something that I want to do all the time, because I don't think it's necessary.
All right, let's do one more, Scott. I think we got time for one more.
All right. The rule of 14 clubs. Should the maximum number of clubs allowed in the bag be raised or lowered to force players to become more creative with their shots? Just, we should say, before this comes down, almost 100 years ago, golf changed to get to the 14 clubs. But what are your thoughts on the number
100
of
years
clubs
ago?
that are allowed?
100 years ago, how many clubs were you allowed?
Oh, you could. It was unlimited. There wasn't.
Okay.
You could have 25, as many as you can carry.
I would say I wouldn't be lowering it for the purpose of forcing players to become more creative with their shots, because the majority of golfers are casual golfers. So this question is really like,
yeah, I mean,
why would you
want to give them one screwdriver when they need 10?
Like I could care less. Like 14 clubs. Like I actually think I have 15 in my bag all year. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I do. I honestly don't count them. I'm pretty sure that there's an extra club in there. I'm not 100% certain of that, but I think when I got my deuce, my 2-iron, I don't think I took anything out. I think I just put the 2-iron in to try it from time to time. So I think that part of it depends on, are you a tournament golfer and all that.
Right.
I think if the rule is 14, then you leave the rule as 14. I don't see any reason to lower it. Why do we always feel it necessary to constantly change rules that don't really need to be changed? I mean,
yeah, I think if you've got think about this, even if you're playing a casual game with friends, I don't care if they could have 17 if they want. Tournament, obviously that's the case. I think if the game reduced it down, I don't think we need to reduce it. Does it become more creative? It's a hard enough game as it is. I don't mind a tournament situation every now and then where they have a tournament where it's like, oh, let's go play a half set or whatever. And I'll occasionally have a half set when I'm traveling or stuff like that or whatever. But I
sling bag there, whatever.
Yeah, but I don't think that should change the rule. I think we've got something that's sort of okay, that allows us to have enough clubs to kind of cover off a number of things, which most people are not going to hit successfully anyway. So
no,
why make it harder? I
feel like sometimes I don't know why we're always constantly changing rules.
I think the problem is that we want a standard for things that are official, whereas a lot of the rounds that are played are not official.
Well, that's it. It's like I saw some things recently about the rule change things and with respect to dropping the ball instead, like out of bounds. Like if it goes into it, you drop from out of bounds instead of stroke and distance and things like that. I mean, people do that anyway. Like whatever. I mean,
I think as long as you play the same rules within your group, and you agree to it as far as your group, and a group could be a full tournament, right? Then that's perfectly fine. Then the standard is there. If you want to mess around and do some stuff on your own, help yourself. So,
all right. Well, we're out of time. We got to get out of here, and we still got a lot of topics left. So, guess what? We already know what's going to happen next week.
Oh, probably answer a few more of these. Yeah,
absolutely. Why not?
They're
This is awesome. It's good conversation. All right. Good show. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Metcalf Golf Club, Falcon Ridge Golf Club, and our presenting sponsor this week is Srixon Golf. At Srixon, performance is more than just a number. It's a feeling, and one that starts at the forge. Introducing ZXI irons with iForge, a groundbreaking achievement in shaping, pressing, and heating that's taken Srixon feel to an entirely new level. ZXI irons from Srixon, how Forge should feel. Visit Srixon.ca for more and the full lineup of Srixon products. Well, hopefully you have been enjoying watching and listening to us. Be sure to follow us across all social media networks, Instagram, X, Facebook, and TikTok, and subscribe on Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. Do not forget our YouTube channel. Like us, click the notification bell, never miss a single episode, and get over to flagstick.com for more amazing golf content delivered every single day. As always, I appreciate you tuning in. I am Jeff Botter.
I'm Scott McLeod. I almost forgot.
Remember, go for the stick.